In writing, the author often intends to persuade or inform their audience. Some books convince an audience to believe a particular way about a specific topic. Other times, authors aim to educate a reader by citing facts with logic and reasoning.
Sometimes we can't do what feels good. We have to do what is logical.
What's logical?
In grand speeches, the orator may strive to articulate a clear theme to their listeners. In all circumstances, the author uses rhetoric. Rhetoric, in this case, pertains to the compelling art of persuasion. Some typically known rhetorical devices are ethos, pathos, and logos. Other writers employ personification or anaphora. Today, we will review 3 distinctive varieties of rhetoric, using both old and new examples to illustrate their effectiveness. We will talk about rhetorical questions, nuanced language, and allusions, rhetorical devices that have endured the test of time.
Well, as expected anyway.
Rhetorical questions are generally posed to stress a point to the audience. When presented with a rhetorical question, both the author and the reader should know the answer. The author is not looking for a reply, but an acknowledgement of the correct answer. One instance is found in 1775, when Patrick Henry gave his famous speech to the Virginia Convention.
Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? What is it that they wish? What would they have? Is life so dear, or peace so sweet, as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery?
In this passage, Patrick Henry utilizes rhetorical questions to highlight the urgency of the conflict with Britain, imploring the audience to act now before they lose their opportunity.
I can see how that wouldn't be enticing to you.
A more contemporary example of rhetorical questioning can be found today in the United States President Joe Biden's inaugural speech. In the speech, President Joe Biden urges the American people to undertake ongoing crises that face the nation. See if you can spot where he uses rhetorical questioning.
We will be judged, you and I, by how we resolve these cascading crises of our era. We will rise to the occasion is the question. Will we master this rare and difficult hour? Will we meet our obligations and pass along a new and better world to our children? I believe we must. I'm sure you do as well. I believe we will.
President Joe Biden employs rhetorical questioning here, challenging if we, the audience, will work to resolve the conflicts he underscores earlier in the passage. Another rhetorical device frequently adopted is nuanced language. Nuanced language seeks to apply words and phrasing in a particular way, framing the connotation of those words to communicate something deep or complex.
Really?
Instead of directly stating, "I'm sad," the author can convey an identical idea with a more implicit approach. Doesn't today seem a bit dull? In the latter case, the audience receives the same information, but with more subtlety. In Benjamin Franklin's autobiography, he manipulates nuanced language to express leadership qualities in his younger self.
Accordingly, in the evening, when the workmen were gone, I assembled a number of my playfellows, and working with them diligently, like so many emmets, sometimes 2 or 3 to a stone, we brought them all away and built our little wharf. The next morning the workmen were surprised at missing the stones, which were found in our wharf.
In this passage, Benjamin Franklin explains gathering a few of his friends and directing them to lift and carry heavy stones. This usage of nuanced language here heavily insinuates that Benjamin Franklin successfully directed his friends to accomplish a difficult task without outright remarking, "I was a good leader." In contrast, the movie The Pianist uses nuanced language to suggest empathy from an otherwise villainous character. In this scene, a Nazi captain is confronted by a Jewish pianist who has been hiding in an abandoned building. See if you can spot where nuanced language was used in this next clip.
Sie hatten sich hier versteckt. Jude. Wo ist Ihr Versteck?
Im Dachboden.
Zeigen Sie es mir. Haben Sie was zu essen?
Throughout the scene, you are led to believe the Nazi captain is intending to kill the Jewish man. Yet, in the end, the Nazi captain voices sympathy by revealing he will bring food for him to eat.
Jude?
The last rhetorical device is an allusion. You can think of allusion as a more sneaky way of referencing previous works or ideas. An allusion is often placed with the expectation of the audience knowing what is being referenced. This is often confused with referencing, which is more obvious. Allusions, however, are implied, and not as pronounced, as the audience is not utterly told where the allusion originates. Poetry is a genre of writing rich with allusions to prior works. One such poem by Phyllis Wheatley titled Thoughts on Works of Providence alludes to Phoebus, the Greek goddess of the sun. She does not explicitly declare that Phoebus is the sun goddess. In context, however, it can be deduced.
Vast through her orb she moves with easy grace, around her Phoebus in unbounded space. True to her course th' impetuous storm derides, triumphant o'er the winds and surging tides.
A modern example is in a song titled The Cult of Dionysus by the Orion Experience. Try to spot where the allusion is in the lyrics.
God's above, I'm feeling devious. You're looking glamorous. Let's get mischievous and polyamorous. Wine and women and wonderful vices. Welcome to the cult of Dionysus.
The allusion is, in fact, in the title and the end of the chorus. The Greek god of wine and fertility, Dionysus, is alluded to in the passage. We get no straightforward explanation as to who Dionysus is, but based on the context, we can infer that this song refers to the Greek god. To recap, rhetorical questions are questions posed to an audience with the expectation of no actual response. The author intends that the audience know the answer, and uses it to accentuate a specific matter. Nuanced language is the usage of wording and phrasing to convey a deeper message beyond the literal meaning of those words. Allusions are references to well-known previous works or ideas. They are usually indirect and not as apparent as references. Hopefully, with this knowledge, you can add some rhetorical devices to your writing toolkit.